So today we're talking about Yamanami Keisuke, the support of the Shinsengumi. Now, right now, unless Kondo Isumi, uh, the character that's supposed to be coming out on Wednesday, unless he also has a buff that requires more Shinsengumi to be on the field, based on what we saw about his MP, yeah, he's summoning the whole squad. I would not be surprised if he got some crazy buffs based on the number of Shinsengumi on the field with him. So, if he has a buff like that, and Keisuke has a buff, or sorry, not has a buff, is on the field, his MP is probably gonna work even better. So let's talk about the buff. First off, again, you're not using him in place of any other plug suit support. He is not supposed to be an alternative to the Castoria. Although right now, he is not looking that far off Castoria, if I'm being kind of honest. Like, obviously the card buff, but not all the Shinsengumi are a specific card buff, which is probably why when they buffed the skill, they didn't just make it AoE. The value for the skill also is too high for them to make AoE, so womp for him. But at the end of the day, his recent buff is giving him a lot more firepower to give to the party. Which, yeah, because of Oberon, I will take 30% MP damage over card buffs, because the card buffs might not even matter. For instance, Hijikata. What is an arts and quick buff gonna do for that man besides help him refund his MP? He just needs to keep getting hit, and then he should MP. All right, base attack, 8.7k. Not terrible, especially because he's not supposed to be really doing damage. This is just like a damage while he's getting face cards to get back to his MP. HP, also not that high. Like, for Berserkers, this would be high, but not for a Saber. Not that high, at least. Star weight, star gen, Saber numbers, MP chart is at 0.81. And he has the, no, I was going to say this is the OG Saber deck, but it's not. No, OG Saber deck is double Buster, double Arts. But yeah, no, this is a deck type, double Quick, double Arts, that is becoming more prevalent, especially with Summer Tiamat. Yeah, no, that's the main reason he needed to get this skill buff, because Summer Tiamat just completely shits on him. If you have Summer Tiamat, there's almost no reason you should ever be using Keisuke, unless, again, Kondo Isumi, he also has effect that scales on Shinsengumi. Then obviously you're gonna pick Shinsengumi if it helps out two characters over one, and with him it's more than two because it's everyone. Yeah, alignment lawful good. So if you have that CE, use it and get them up higher. Yeah, nothing else. Nothing else I see here. All right. Hit counts, by the way, not terrible. This arts card is a little bit of a problem, but he should technically be critting on this. There should be enough stars for him to get an arts crit. Yeah, just based on his own gameplay, the fact that you have Quicksilver in Shinsengumi, having enough stars to crit shouldn't be too much of a problem, especially if the MP is popped. All right, first skill, 20% attack, 20% MP gen, 10 stars. Simple but basic. I feel this MP gen could have been 30. I really feel they could have just made it 30 and give it, like, not Castoria numbers, but like close enough. But this is still like two of Castoria's skills without the battery, plus the star bomb. So you can see I'm comparing him to Castoria, and Castoria is better. But at the end of the day, a 4-star should not be better than Castoria. Like, the fact that I'm using her as the comparison is a buff to him, not a debuff to Castoria. All right, second skill is what it was buffed before. It was just 30% arts and quick for himself and a 20 battery for himself. If you actively play FGO, you know a 20 self battery is not nearly enough these days. Now, an AoE battery that also is hitting 20%, that's fine. That is 100% fine. But the only effect is a 20 battery for yourself. It didn't work back when he came out. It works even less now. So, the buff fixes that battery problem, gives the 20 to everyone in the party but himself, and he also gives everyone else MP damage. Now, why are they saying except self is a non-damaging MP? Why the fuck does he need MP damage? Simple enough. But yeah, so for the party, he's giving 20 attack, 20 MP gen, 20 battery, and 30% MP damage. That is a lot more value that you're giving. 100%. Like, this is 60% with Oberon. They gave him Oberon's first skill. No, actually, legitimately, they gave him Oberon's. His buff was being given Oberon's third skill. I mean, first skill. Damn. How to buff characters, just give them the skills of the best characters in the game. And it won't change anything. All right, moving on. I do have to get this video edited before I go to work today. So, third skill, party evasion, 1 attack, 3 turns, heal, and cleanses dots from everyone in the party. So, do not bring him for Van Gogh. Do not bring him for anyone that has scale. Do not bring him with Typhon. I'm joking about the Van Gogh, but if you do this with Typhon, you probably are fucking your damage up so hard it's not even funny. Yeah, with Typhon specifically, if you're not careful, you might knock out like 30 to 60% of her super effective. So, like, I can't believe I have to actively be thinking about that, but that's kind of just the point we're at. With Grand Extra, they pretty much made every character like Typhon, like more debuffs equals super effective damage or something similar to that. Probably not super effective, but like power mod or something like that. I have to go through like all the actual effects of Grand Extra. But yeah, be aware of this because for some characters this might be a demerit. Again, if we're doing Shinsengumi, this is a godsend for Hijikata because as long as you're not using actual Black Rail, the one thing that is going to screw him over is DOT. Which, like, again, why you don't use Black Rail on him because he wants the 1 HP guts. There is a CE that's 80% MP damage for Berserkers out. Yeah, use that on Hijikata instead. The runs will be so much more consistent. Yes, you're losing out on 400 attack, but 400 attack is nothing compared to your run getting fucked over because of the curse on Black Rail. Passive skills, 12.5% debuff res, 2% quick up from riding E. I am now doing monthly $5 giveaways as a way to give back to my channel. I recently hit 500 subs and I want to keep giving back to the people that support me. All you have to do is comment on one of my videos during the month. Doesn't even have to be a video I make that month, and you are entered to win. 5 people can win every month with 1 win per person per month. Only 1 comment is counted as an entry every month. I will send you the prize in a way that works for both of us. Thank you for watching. Now let's get back to the video. And move it on to the passives. So with this most recent buff, he's now going to be starting at 50, he has 50 in his kit, not 40. It makes it so much cleaner if he's being run with Castoria. What else? Yeah, if you're, or not Castoria, but you don't need as much charge, and the charge is cleaner than it was before. Before, if you gave him a 50% starting CE, someone else in the party would have needed to have an AOE battery of some kind, Otherwise, he was not MPing. So you were either holding out on using battery to align the charge situation better. Like if you had more AoE charge, uh, especially because this didn't do anything for the party, you really could have just held off on this. If it meant like you were a little closer to getting to your next MP. But yeah, no, this buff makes it so he just functions better. So yeah, highly advise get this. Cool, but he's not really supposed to be doing damage, so and then this kind of makes the most sense if you plan on having him on the field longer than like a 3-turn situation. Or Tomomo is involved, like, or not Tomomo, but just some kind of cooldown reduction. I don't think Shinsengumi does cooldown. They like it. They don't. I don't think they do it. It would be cool if Kondo did cooldown reduction, because then you can get started with some nasty stuff with Shinpachi, because I remember his crit skill was like super low cooldown. But yeah. In general, for supports, these are the two I advise these days. Misclick. All right, MP. So at MP1, this is where I had problems like placing him because I don't have him MP1 ever. He is MP5 on all the accounts that I'm pretty sure have him. And like it's my alt account that doesn't have him, so yeah, I wouldn't be using the 20%. But yeah, at base for his MP scaling, I don't like it. I feel like you need to have MP2 or higher for him to even be worth it. Because yes, he at MP1 he does give 40% attack, and if it's Shinsengumi, you get another 50 crit damage. Yeah, MP2 you get another 10%, and that's 50, and that just scales better. But yeah, MP5 you get 40%. He was on the banner with Rikyuu, which is why I got him like at such a high copy. But yeah, I don't use this guy for the MP. He has mostly just been Bloodsuit support because of the attack buff in the MP game. That was pretty much it. And unfortunately for me, he is Bond 10 on all my accounts, so I have no reason to let him be on the team and farm even better than he used to. Because in the same teams he was in, he only got better. He did not get worse. But I don't want to use him at Bond 10. That's the problem. But yeah, 10 stars per turn. Crit damage with Shinsengumi. I can see this MP getting buffed fairly... I don't want to say fairly soon, but like it wouldn't be a big deal for them to buff the MP. The reason being, for damaging MPs, they have to worry about the state of the game and other characters that come with it. Like Babanshi getting buffed, Melt getting buffed. There has to be other single target quick DPSs coming out that can warrant those two characters getting buffs, because both of them shot up to the top of their class because of that. When it comes to support MPs, that's not the case. You technically, when a support MP gets buffed, they technically don't have to change the scaling at all. They don't have to. So support MPs really are just easier to buff. Because a buff for a support MP is not do more damage, it's add another effect or make another effect better. So for me, he is like more a long-term investment servant, but as FGO is approaching the end, yeah, long-term servants, you can't really market that. The only way you can make it worth it is if you're playing the game and get to the final chapter for part 2 in December. That's the only. They've said it in interviews before. If you want the game to continue, get OC4 done before the final chapter. That's how they're counting it, and you get 1,000 Saint Quartz for it. Yeah. Again, if you want more characters like Kondo Isamu, sorry if I'm saying the name wrong. Uh, but yeah, if you want more for the game, you have to play the game. Bond CE, 10% MP Gen, extra crit damage for Shinsengumi allies. This Bond CE gives him Castoria's effect. It brings it up to the same value that Castoria gives to the party without the but you lack a battery and a card buff. Other than that, it is similar enough to Castoria's kit with a little bit of crit on the side. But I'm not telling you to make him Grand Saber. Absolutely not. There is like now you actually can go full Shinsengumi for Grand Saber, like Okita, Kondo, and Keisuke. Like there are enough, but that would just be for a meme. That would be for a meme. It would not be serious. All right, that's it for me. I think this buff is very much appreciated. He has always been on the weaker side, but because of the Shinsengumi part, I tend to not rank him over ranking him on his poorer performance. Yeah, especially compared to like the other servant buffs that were happening, like who else? Daeon. I forget if Prince of Lanling got a buff this year or in recent times, but his potency went up. No, he did. Prince of Lanling did get a buff in last year. Yeah, no. I was positive this one. Okay, yeah. So every single one of his competition got buffed in the last year. It would have been a disservice for him not to get that buff, or to not get a buff. Do I think he still needs another buff? Absolutely. Buff his MP. Make this 100%. That is what I want for his buff. Make this 100%, and now we're cooking. Because there are just too many servants that can give Shinsengumi better. I already mentioned it, Summer Tiamat, but that is just the start. There are plenty of other servants that can buff up crit damage. Like, if any of the Shinsengumi have chaotic or evil, Doman can give them pretty much the same shit as Keisuke in terms of like critting. So yeah, more buffs for him, only gonna be better. All right, peace. Thank you for making it to the end of this video. If you enjoyed, drop a like or sub. Hope to see you in the next one. Peace.